thought I played pretty well. I conserved my energy when I needed to. I wasn't feeling my best out there. Once again, just my legs weren't there, and that's from lack of training recently. So I was kind of dealt a bad hand coming into this tournament, but like I said, I conserved my energy well, and I felt like I played my best when I needed to. A lot of the times out there, it wasn't pretty, but I was once again my serve and forehand pretty much bailed me out. I was hitting both shots pretty well.
When you say you were dealt a bad hand, what exactly are you referring to?
Well, I hurt my ankle 2 weeks ago, so I haven't. I mean, I didn't. The first time I hit was 2 days before the tournament, and for more than a week, I couldn't do any physical activity. So I felt like I lost some of my shape. I was in pretty good shape, and it's tough to build it back up. I didn't have any time to do that.
Your ankle didn't bother at all, though?
Sorry?
The ankle's okay, didn't bother?
It wasn't an issue. No.
John, when someone in sports does something as you did in Wimbledon, years later they're still talking about it. Some athletes are bothered by it, and others relish it.
Mm-hmm.
What's been your reaction in the 2 months?
No, it's been great. I mean, obviously, I know, being a part of that match, people are going to talk about that for a long, long time. That's going to stick with me for really as long as I live. So, like I said, I'm fine. I embrace it. I think it's really cool what Nicholas and I did that day. It hasn't. It's not gonna bother me. But I've said this a lot. I don't want that to be like the lasting image of my career. So that's up to me to make it not that way. So it's up to me to do well in big tournaments such as this.
Will you need your legs to? Will you need a little more pop in your legs against Chiudinelli? What do you have to do well in that match?
Yeah, I am going to need that. I think the focus the rest of today and all day tomorrow is going to be just to try to rejuvenate my body as much as possible, so to get me feeling as good as I possibly can going into that match. I'm going to have to play really well. I'm going to do the same thing essentially today. Serve well and hit my forehand well. Those are my 2 strengths. That's no secret. And he's just, I played him in Montreal last year, and it was 3 sets, but he kind of ran me off the court the last 2 sets. And when he's on, he's really, really tough. So for me, I kind of hope he's not on.
So John, if you feel like your fitness isn't where you want it to be, does that mean just taking some bigger risks on your serve and on your forehand? Is that going to be the strategy?
Well, yeah. I mean, I try to ace people anyways, no matter how I'm feeling when I get up to serve, and I try to hit my forehand really big. I don't hold back on either one of those shots. So that's not going to change. But it's all going to mean a lot of it's going to be how I feel, really, going into the match. Essentially warming up today, I felt like I just didn't have it. I knew it was going to be a tough match because I just didn't feel that great out there. And I was really fortunate to win today.
Ryan Harrison had lost in the fifth set break today after having some match points. And sorry, I'm wondering about the learning curve for a young player learning how to play in a fifth set. What is there to learn, and did you go through it yourself?
Yeah, it's so tough. Me personally, I don't know how many fifth sets I've played in. I think I've played in 2 this year, maybe 4 or 5 in my career. So it's not that I'm not that seasoned at it either. It's something that obviously with maturity and the more times you're in that situation, the better you're going to be. But obviously I didn't see the match today. I don't want to say that. I mean, you probably just have to give credit to Ryan's opponent. I mean, Ryan, he's obviously playing well, and he's a huge future in this game.
Do you change things in the fifth set, or do you stick with the same stuff? Or
no, I think it all depends on how you feel. You stick with your game, stick with what's working. And for him, he gets to the net a lot, and he's quick, he's athletic. I mean, I'm sure he was, doing what he was doing first 4 sets. He just came out on the wrong end, unfortunately.
John, could you hear that match from where you were in Louis? Did you hear the crowd in there?
I could hear the crowd. It was hard to tell really what was going on. I mean, obviously, when the crowd cheered, you know, I was with Ryan at one point. But even, you know, I didn't know that he won or lost until I saw it on the screen on my court.
John, apologies for asking a Wimbledon-related question, but for a long time, you'll always be related to Nicholas Mahut. And he's sort of had a tough go of it. He's been saying his body hasn't been the same, hasn't had a very good summer, didn't get a wild card or anything here. Do you have any thoughts about Nicholas, and have you been in touch with him at all? And could you reflect on that?
Yeah, we have kept in touch since the match. The first time I saw him, you know, face to face was the first day I stepped foot in the locker room here. So we talked about the match a little bit. Like I said, it is unfortunate that his back is bothering him. He may have jumped into tournaments too quickly after our match, because I believe he played Newport. So yeah, I think from what I've read, I think that's what he says. That, you know, that was a tournament that kind of hurt his back a little, and it set him back. So, you know, that's unfortunate. I know that for me, you know, I don't feel like I'm feeling the lasting effects of that match, particularly. I mean, I'm tired here, but I think that's because of my ankle.
And did he say anything of interest to you about the match?
No, to be honest, we didn't really talk about the match. We just talked with each other and asked each other what's been up lately. So the focus really wasn't on the match.
John, can you talk about whether you've had any surprises in your physical conditioning while you've been playing here, or with regard to the ankle? Because you spoke, obviously, at every step along the way about the hope that you would improve certainly your lung capacity with playing more, and also the condition of your ankle. What has it been like for you?
Yeah, it's definitely been tough. I started feeling it in the third set of my first match. I felt great. I actually felt pretty good, right from the get-go of my first match, and I was thinking, hey, this is a good omen. But then kind of hit me in the third set, and really throughout the whole match today, I was feeling it. I don't feel like I had the pop on my shots that I normally would out there today. So yeah, I'm struggling a bit physically, but it's I'm going to have to do my best to get myself up to 100%. I feel like I'm getting stronger, although I'm out there and playing these long matches. I feel like I'm getting stronger, and I should be better for the next one.
And the
Last
ankle?
2 questions, I'm afraid.
The
One
ankle's
here
just
and one here.
John, given that there are no teenage men in the top 100 of the world rankings, do you think that's more motivation for kids to go to college a year or two? Do you think more guys should follow the route you took, or?
I think they should, especially, not necessarily 4 years like I did, but at the very least 1 year. There's obviously there's a few exceptions. It's Sam being one, and I think Ryan's another one. He made the right choice, probably turning pro. As you guys can see, at 18, he's competing with these, everybody at this tournament. But for sure, and I feel like a lot of players have made the mistake of not going to college. And so the up-and-coming, juniors in the country now, I think going to college for 1-2 years, that's really going to help them. So I hope that's the case in the near future.
And last question here, please.
At Grand Slams, Tim Henman used to always say that he felt the weight of the whole British Empire on his shoulders. With so few Americans left standing here, only in the third round, do you feel the weight of being one of the great American hopes, almost a nationalistic, or? Yeah.
No, I don't feel the weight of it. I think when my second year on tour, when I was after I did really well on my first half year on tour, I kind of felt that pressure. A lot of great things were expected of me, and I regressed in 2008. But now that I'm more mature and I've obviously played a lot of matches, I don't feel any added pressure to do well because I'm American. I know that whatever happens, happens. I'm not putting any extra pressure on myself.